gap for their employees. This in alignment with the vision of Indian government to build a capacity of 5 trillion economy by 25 financial year. So thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us. Can we please have a huge round of applause for Sabha Kareem, ma'am? Next, joining in the speaker panel, we have Madhu Manjunath, ma'am, the Senior Director R&D at VMware. On the Jorada Chappale Mukantra ona ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಹ್ವಾನಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. Madhu Manjunath is the Senior Director R&D in the Network, Virtualization and Security Business Unit at VMware. She leads the global tests, escalations and SRE for AVI networks. She's the global co-lead for women at VMware and leads the diversity, equity and the inclusion statewide strategy for VMware India. Over the last 27 years, she has held global engineering leadership positions at NetApp, RSA Security, and many more. She's had multiple awards for her relentless pursuit of quality and customer experience. She's highly passionate about mentoring and inspiring women professionals. So can we please have a humongous round for her where she's going to inspire us with her amazing words. Joining, ladies and gentlemen, on the panel next, we have Usha Shrikant, the VP and Senior Partner Sectors CIC India at IBM Consulting. On the Jora the Chappale, please, she's having 29 years of experience working with various clients on strategy, solution, and shaping and supporting implementation of global delivery models for various types of services with focus on cost optimization and innovation leverage. Large part of her experience is in banking industry. Currently, she is the Vice President of Sectors in CIC in IBM India. So ladies and gentlemen, having served over 7 locations with over 900 clients and over 13 industries, she's a passionate about diversity and inclusion agenda and works with industry on this. A warm welcome to you on this lovely occasion, ma'am. Joining us next is the Vice President of Operations at Cyan DLM. Please put your hands together for Suchitra Roy-Roth C. She's an experienced professional with 28 years of experience in electronics manufacturing, well-versed in establishing an EMS company right from the selection of relevant equipments to training to lab of operations and securing customer approvals. She has played a pivotal role in setting up the manufacturing facilities of client, including production, manufacturing, engineering. Thank you so much, ma'am. We look forward to your wonderful insight. Last but not the least, we have with us Ashwini Tamaya, the Vice President Operations of iSocrates. Come on, everybody, let's hear it for Ashwini Tamaya, ladies and gentlemen, the VP and Board of Directors as iSocrates, responsible for global delivery with over 20 years of experience in IT and ITS industry. She started her career as an IT technical trainer, moved into digital marketing space. Her expertise varies from B2B and B2C email marketing, ad tech, search and social data management. The list goes on and on. She's also managed functions across delivery operations, offshore-onshore model, client management, finance, HR, IT, admin, and technology. She's responsible for building iSocrates India office, a subsidiary of iSocrates LLC USA in Mysore, India 2017, managing global delivery and products. On the Jorada Chappale, your amulyavada experience ke, we are really looking forward for this amazing session. Without much further ado, listen up to all the lovely girls and respectful ladies out here. We want you to listen to them, get in all the knowledge, ask them all the wonderful questions, and also empower yourself with I Make the Difference badge. So thank you so much. Over to the moderator, Supriya Danda. Come on, everybody, let's hear it for the lady who's going to moderate the session.
Thank you so much, Nikhil. I mean, after this, who wants to sit down? I just want to get up and dance. That's the kind of energy he infuses in you. Thank you so much. What wonderful, such esteemed, distinguished, extremely acclaimed and celebrated careers. Let's have a round of applause, one for each of the panelists. Sanjeev said he was feeling a bit, that was a token of humility. We do respect. But I do feel the same to say, have an august panel of 5 such esteemed panelists, so I hope to do justice. Stay tuned. We can, if you have a burning question, we'll take it in the end. But if you feel like you'll forget it and you want to ask in between, we'll go with the flow. We are talking here because you're listening. If you're not listening, this session is in the cloud. Yeah, so we'll bring it to Mysore, this conversation, because you're all listening. So thank you so much. What are we going to talk about? We are talking about women in technology. And we've seen two excellent careers. We've seen Her Highness talk about leading Cyberverse Foundation. That's great. From someone without any education background, but extreme passion and intent, and therefore making it big. And if you haven't heard about it before, we'll go and Google and you will realize there is so much good, great work that's happening under that foundation. So I think that's brilliant. I fondly got the opportunity to call her Anu, but Ma'am Anuradha, I mean, what stellar career. The list of achievements, medals just went on and on. You've had those two careers and now you have 5 here. I'm going to count myself out, I'm moderator. But that's the beauty. We will begin by now. There's a lot of data that gets discussed. I love data. I was talking earlier in my talk to say women in technology. There are great opportunities. Entire India is at a talent crunch. We're all talking about playing a fix-sum game. You know, you take from me, I take from you, and then we all sit down and say, how is it that the business cannot make that much profit as much as it ought to make? Especially probably if it's more services where the margins are very different. Now when we're talking about, I'd like to begin that, why is it that women in workforce generally is less? I'm not going to talk about that. But Madhu, my question is going to be to you to say, why do you think, in your opinion, is that we have less women in technology workforce?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Supriya. And first and foremost, I think it's been a great experience here. And at some point, I was feeling very emotional, to be part of this entire August forum and the wonderful speakers that we had. So first and foremost, I would like to, as we discuss about, why do we have less representation of women in the tech side itself, I would like to start by calling out 2 positive facts I think we should definitely be proud about. First and foremost is the percentage of women engineers who are graduating, right? Year on year, what I heard from Anuradha madam is that I was under the impression that it's around 30%, but it seems to be close to 50%, right? And which is definitely more than the developed nations, right? US, UK, France, Germany, something to be very proud of. And over the years, if you really see, the women representation within the tech workforce in India is also on the rise. We were, I think, around 21% a few years ago. There are NASSCOM reports around this. But today, what I read is we are around close to 35% overall women in tech workforce in the industry, not necessarily at the very senior levels, right? There, the representation is pretty dismal. So while we can feel proud about 35%, but we still feel that there's a lot that needs to be done to plug this gap that we have. And now coming to the question of why is it that women representation is low? I think all of us heard from the prior panel discussion, there are multiple reasons. One is the societal reasons, right? The socio-economic reasons which prevent women from even pursuing higher education. That could be one challenge which is still prevalent in some parts of the country, right? And second is the leaky pipeline, right? The gender stereotyping, still the patriarchal mindset, which really prevents people or women to even start their career or sometimes even pursue their careers, as a result of which we see a lot of dropouts happening. And the third one, which is pretty important, is how does culture look at workplace, right? So we have heard of workplace harassment, discrimination at workplace, absence of role models, and we also have seen organizations which lack that psychological safety, that principles of inclusion which prevent women to bring their authentic self to work and being able to freely express themselves and feel that they belong in that ecosystem. So in my experience, Supriya, I think these are some of the factors which really contribute to the lesser percentage of women in tech.
No, very well said, Madhu. Thank you so much. I think you're calling out societal factors, you're calling out corporate, you're calling out microaggressions that are happening, and at the end of the day, the safety gets threatened. And this is very true, and I'll draw some insights from the previous panel where Anuradha said, be at it, be relentless. Some of us have taken larger mantle and we are responsible for a larger institution, but if you are not on that role, you're responsible only for yourself. It's going to be a tough journey. People have climbed Mount Everest, people have gone to moon and come back. You just have to be responsible for your career. Quitting is not an option. So maybe if we try keeping that, that will help. Because some of these things will change over time for sure. Madhu, thank you so much. Ashwini, I'm going to draw you in next. We spoke about that we don't have an issue of STEM education. We really don't. We are really I think we are at 54%. And like I said, reports depend on which source you're looking at. But clearly some say 6, some say 54%, 1 in 5. We are there. It's not an issue. What can we do, or before we even go to solution, why do you think women are not joining workforce? See, once you join, it's tough to stay, there are other things, you will leave and then you come back. But where are we losing women?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Supriya. And so before I start answering, so I'm very honored to be here. Thank you, Sanjeev and KDM, for inviting me for this session. As we all know, STEM is nothing but it's the area of study which includes science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, right? So we all know this. So according to the World Bank data, everybody is talking about some percentages. I guess I have a right number. So especially the Indian women, we are graduating STEM is around 43%. So which is higher compared to any of the developed countries, as Madhu mentioned, like it could be US, UK, or Germany, or France. So that's the number. However, the question here is why there is no conversion. The ratio between the number of people or the number of women we are completing these graduations to the number of women who are actually taking up the job. So what's going on here? Another example I want to quote here is like every year when we read the newspaper, right, during the academic results, so we hear that, most of the top ranks are backed by the women, that is the girls, and even the pass percentage also, the girls are getting more compared to the boys. Then what is happening after that? So why it is not getting converted? So there are many reasons to it, right? So the previous speakers have touched upon most of the challenges that women face. Even though we say that, so we shouldn't be heeding to that, but it is there. So like the challenges like having the role models itself, right? So we do not have too many role models here for us to look at. So there might be there, but maybe they are like, they say, ele mare kai tara, so they might be hidden somewhere. So that's one thing. And women have to be, always under the pressure of trying to be meeting the societal norms. So that is another challenge. Plus, once your education is completed, so after that, the question or the pressure that you get from your parents is, so yeah, you should get married. So you got married, then, the society is asking you. So I was married at the age of 18 actually. And so I pursued my studies and then I started working. But while I'm studying, whenever I'm going to any function or anywhere, family function, gathering something, the question would come, so any good news? Right? So that's another pressure. So child work pressure. So plus when it comes to work, while commuting, the safety of women, plus, sexual harassment and such other issues. So these are the challenges because of which we feel that, the women who are actually completing or graduating STEM, who are converting to the jobs is actually, the ratio is not right. So for this, definitely women need support from their immediate family, society, as well as government as well. So the numbers are not very bad. We are getting there, but it will take a long time to go is what I feel.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Ashwini, you say it'll take a long time, and I kind of agree, disagree with that to say, I look at, yeah, and I'm glad, Madhu is with me on this too. I think it's going to get faster. We're going to close this gap much faster. I know 5 years back we weren't this active. A lot of organizations are doing great. There are some stellar examples of organizations out there. I'm a big fan of IBM, who's been at it for years, for decades. I joined my work in 98, and I know someone at that point of time who was leading D&I for India. I joined GE, and we were very forward-looking, very progressive, and IBM was clearly a leader in that, and IBM continues to lead that. And I think there are stellar organizations like that. All you have to do is make up your mind. So how many of you in the audience are listening and making up your mind to say, come whatever, I'm going to have a career? Can we have a show of hands? Lovely. Well, that deserves a round of applause. Like someone said, I'm not going to wait for someone to open the door. I'm going to dare to say, how dare you not open? And I think once you commit, then I like the Salman Khan dialogue. After I commit, I don't even listen to myself. So I think if there was a she Salman Khan, once I commit, I don't listen. I'm kind of infamous at home for that. And I love that. If I make a commitment, I'll be there. Come hail or storm or anyone else. Lovely. Thank you so much. I think, Ashwini, that was brilliant. Sabha, I'm going to come to you. We had this excellent conversation before the panel. We've discussed the problem, and I want problem to be 20%, but 80% of the panel conversation to focus on solutions. So talk to us about what opportunities do you see in the world of technology, and what is it that the audience, our young girls, students can walk away with to say, wow, that's a bright, big, mega sun shining. Whatever happened in the past is a story of the past. My current and future is in my hand. So talk to us about that.
Thank you, Supriya. And it's really so good to see so many students out here, because I work very closely with students and I work with universities. Especially the girl student, when I see them working hard, it really, it just warms my heart. Coming to the opportunities, I think opportunity is equal, it's equal for everyone. I don't think so that when you talk about opportunity, ideally it should be the skills which we should be talking about. And as I understand, there's a lot of focus nowadays in companies to look at skills rather than gender. When we say skills means that it need not be something which you are learning just in the college today. It can be over and above that as well. There are a lot of skills, communication skills. I know this is a tech forum, but there are a lot of skills where you actually, which you need actually to be good at your work. And these might not be taught at colleges today. These are soft skills. These are, communication, analytical thinking, things like that, problem solving. So based on these kind of skills, the companies are hiring people. So diversity is just not about the gender, I would say. There's a lot more to diversity when we talk about it. Diversity is also basis of the work experience. There are, like at LinkedIn, I can say that we believe in diversity of all kind. So we also focus a lot on NTTs. We call them non-traditional talent. And as you rightly said, that if you cannot measure it, you cannot be better at it. So we measure very proactively as a people manager that what is the talent which is getting hired from a diversity perspective. Is it a non-traditional talent? What kind of gender diversity we are hiring? And it is all driven down from our CEO. To say that a part, like when I enter my office, I feel proud that I'm part of a culture like this. And I'm actually a culture ad. So yeah, I think those are the things I would call out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sabha. So for all of you, if you notice, there are enough and more opportunities at LinkedIn. So definitely hit that button, because rather than posting something, go to the job section. I'm definitely doing that after this. I would love to have such a pride. I love Western Digital, but I may like LinkedIn more. Okay. Also, one very important aspect that Sabha touched on. We pay a lot of importance to educational qualification, and we should. I belong to a world of and. I'm greedy. I want it all. I don't like either or, unless it's tea or coffee, and you can have only one, and the cocktail won't be worth it. But otherwise, it's and. It's engineering, bachelor, any degree you're doing. But just look at the panelists and look at the panels before that. Look at some of the leaders. The charisma, the calm, the brevity, the speech, the communication, the presence, all of that also matters. And which is what we call in the corporate the entire package. Indian system is used to looking at the entire package when getting married. Gaadi, bangla, ghar, parents, bache, that package is actually parents will know it. But I think we need to change the package definition to us as a product. So keep investing in yourself. Sabha, that was a brilliant point. The softer skills, they call it soft, they are the hardest skills to get. Come on stage and then talk to 200 people. How is that a soft skill? That's a hard skill. So invest in it as and when you get time. But, I see a lot of smiles. But make sure you invest in those skills because that's going to be very important. Brilliant. So Chitra, continuing the conversation, I'm a big fan of Cyan too. I just love the team. I love Meenu, Karthik. I mean, they're just fascinating team to work with. Talk to us more about the opportunities in the tech world out there. And if you can touch upon a little bit about, how the technology in the auto sector is also becoming tech, right? So it's not like, tech world. I think tech is in every business today. So talk to us a little bit more about that.
Firstly, thank you for having me here. It's wonderful to be part of such an illustrious panel here, and the session that happened earlier was also really brilliant. I'll start on a positive note. We have a lot of women leaders who are actually hitting and breaking that, historically stubborn glass ceiling. But on the flip side, however, women in tech are far outnumbered. So, but anyway, with the emerging era of new technology and the technology, there is a whole list of it from IoT to big data, AR, VR, autonomous vehicles, you name it. There's a long list. And with the scarce availability of, or the very sparse population of women in the tech workforce, it's clearly an area that we need to work on. Now, actually, if we start looking at the opportunities, there are plenty. There is kind of, to start with a very stereotype image when we venture out of college, very limited knowledge that we have of, what could be a career. But actually, there is a whole lot of it out there, and it is up to us to actually figure out what suits us best. And actually, when you think about your career itself and the women in the tech space, early intervention is required. In the earlier session, it was spoken about, it starts from the home, family, society. So it was very well put across by the Maharani in terms of how, there should not be any kind of differentiation whatsoever, gender differentiation, male, female. Equal opportunities have to be provided at home. And she brought home a very wonderful point about the male being taught, so that, that is the very first learning, and, the equal parity part of it comes across very strongly. Then comes the education part of it again, where in schools, equal opportunities should be given to the girl child, and again, blended well in terms of the curriculum and mold the child in that direction. So that is the early intervention. Then comes the tech and the business leaders who play a great role, because they can actually chalk out strategies in terms of recruitment, development, training, and the culture building within the organizations. So organizations have a great role in terms of molding, nurturing, developing, and actually shaping up the career of people. And perhaps that's where even the right kind of guidance would go in terms of pursuing. We see that at entry level, there would be a lot of women, but then the numbers drop off. And for that, there are various reasons, personal reasons included. So organizations can be more open in terms of the policies that are put up, and also, the right kind of mentoring and guidance. There could be the mentor-mentee kind of programs. We've all heard a lot about diversity, inclusion, the whole works. So the important thing is when women drop off at that stage, leadership roles are very limited. And we see that in the leadership zone, it's largely male-dominated. And this has kind of a very male-oriented policy and decision-making process within the organizations. So having women in the leadership roles also help a great deal out there.
Thank you so much. I would say women in leadership roles helps a lot. Do you see enough role models? Well, after this, at least some of you sitting here cannot say we don't see role models. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You almost got 7 of them. 7 is a very lucky number. Don't worry, that was all bull. But you got 7 of them. Do you want to clap to them? You know, the energy dies down by the evening. The food is kind of burning and the snooze is kind of coming in. And I always tell the audience, don't worry about sleeping in the session. It is not about sleeping. It's about when you choose to wake up. I like that man in blue. It's not about snoozing. We've all snoozed from time to time. Close your eyes, snooze a bit, but the responsibility on the person on the left and the right is to wake you up. So let's see some arms here, but as long as it's only gender sensitive. Yeah? Thank you so much. So sleep, but come back. Quit the job if you want to, have a baby, come back. Quit again, have second baby, but come back. Well, that's what you need to do. You are never quitting forever. These are all speed breakers. Continue driving. Thank you so much. I'm going to remember that, Madhu. Usha, I'm going to spin it a bit. Till now, we've only discussed, and we've discussed the broad problems, right? We are the prime ministers of India, the policy makers. We've done the understanding of industry, what's going wrong. You're with me? Should we hear some stories? Because there's enough and more evidence that top conversation is interesting data, but what really inspires is personal. And that's what our 2 questions were all about, personal. So let's get a little personal. Thank you. So Usha, my question is going to be, tell us a little bit about your career in terms of focusing on what bias did you encounter? We don't want to get details, but broadly, one bias you busted and dusted, and one success factor that you know that was special for you that worked.
So I think, first of all, thanks, and it's lovely to see so many women, or I should say girls around, right? So we're a little older out here. So all through our career, I don't believe we encounter bias necessarily because we are men or women, but it's situations that lead to it. So without getting into specifics, the question of, will she really be able to do the job? You know, that was an overarching bias that I have encountered in my career from time to time. And it was simple things. This job requires you to travel 20 days a month. With a kid who is 3 years old, will you be doing it? And should I give this job to you? Was a question asked to me, and I said, you have to ask me before deciding that I'm not fit to do that. So that's the kind of bias that I encountered in my early stages of career. But I must admit, last 10 to 12 years, I probably didn't get any bias that I can remember. And the way to get around it has always been being confident yourself and also being able to demonstrate the confidence to the outside world. Because I often say there is a difference between a man and a woman most of the time. When you're applying for a job, a role, or a position, and many of you in engineering colleges will go to a job, when you're being interviewed, you kind of say, am I there? Am I not there? And if you're 70% there, you don't want to exhibit full confidence. Most of the men, when they are 60% there, will exhibit full confidence. And that's really the shift and the change that I had to do over a period of time and learn to, better myself at.
Outstanding. I love that. And I also love the fact in 10, 20 years, nobody dared. Nobody dared to throw a bias at you. Awesome. Awesome. Coming to you, Madhu, same question. What is one bias you busted or dusted, and then what has been your success mantra?
Yeah, definitely. So to Sabha's point, I come from the NTT background, non-traditional background. So due to the gender stereotyping early on in my life, I had to let go of my dream to pursue engineering studies, right? I ended up doing a a BA honors in economics, did a master's in economics with maths and statistics. But I did not give up. I continued to be a lifelong student and then pursued master's in computers and, and MBA and all that stuff just to keep myself relevant. So when people who had seen me pursue humanities and when they saw me working in a multinational, whenever they used to meet me, they used to ask me, hey, do you work for HR? Okay, so, at some point it really got to me, though I never answered back. I used to think, I should have asked that person, do you see HR written on my forehead here? What makes you think that, right? So this is just one example of a bias that I can share.
How did you counter it? What was your success mantra?
No, I told them, no, I'm not from HR, sorry. I work for engineering. I lead global engineering teams. And show it with actions, right? Your actions speak more than your words can, right? And when they saw me on these platforms, and even within the organizations, winning year-on-year customer sat awards, for driving excellence in quality and customer experience, people understood, right? And then the mindsets started shifting. I think the newer generation do appreciate that you really don't need to have that engineering degree. All you need is the engineering acumen, the business acumen, and the mindset to get things done, get stuff done and move on, right? So that's what is the need of the hour. And that's how, I just demonstrated through my actions and whatever I could offer. I felt like there was no point arguing, let our actions show by themselves.
Awesome, awesome. Which is brilliant. In Hindi, there's a saying, "Khud ko kar buland itna ki khuda tumse पूछे कि तुम्हारी ख्वाहिश क्या है." And it works for Khuda, it works for Christ, it works for Allah, it works across, it works for your God. It works. So the whole point is just be strong, empower the strength within. And I think Her Highness also said that. I mean, come on. If you're not liking what you're hearing, then ignore it. Easier said than done. But if you practice anything, it works well. So I think if you practice the positive, well, let's start working on. It's not that easy. Feedback, the world gets to us, but getting to us, we're not going to go anywhere, right? We're going to sit in a room, sulk with mid-dim lights. What's the point? So might as well ignore and, keep building your resume. I think one other thing that's coming out, there's no shortcut to learning. If I can share, I'm still doing my PhD. I realized I quit corporate after 25 years of career. I wanted to start something for women and I want to see more women CEOs. But more importantly, I know I want to also study further. So I'm continuing my PhD, and these are harrowing days at times to go back to studies and study 18 hours a day. But I'm doing it because I want to, not because someone forced me. So I think learning is part of your life, whatever works for you. Thank you. Sabha, I'm going to come to you. Share with us a little bit what's behind the mask. Who's really Sabha and what has worked for her, and how have you reached where you've reached brilliantly and successfully?
Oh, wow. First of all, thank you for thinking that I have reached where I have reached. I think there's still a lot more gas in the tank, and I'm going to go far. But I just want to share a story to the entity point, which you also said that you are a non-traditional talent. I just want to tell you that where I come from. So as a child, I have studied in Kendriya Vidyalayas, which are like a backbone of our country for students who are in remotest part of the world. And I come from a remote setting in Rajasthan. So whatever Rajasthan is in your mind of those, camel rides and all that, yes, that's true. I come from that side of it. So it was very remote, right? So for me, the only way out was education. When I started working towards it, I went through college. I reached a place where I wanted to, explore something in tech. I realized that I had a degree of BSc Agriculture. Now that was so different from the SaaS tech companies which were there. The top SaaS tech companies, they were like, they used to look at that time, there was proper resume which used to come. LinkedIn was, now everyone checks LinkedIn. Like if you're going to get hired someplace, first they will look at is your LinkedIn profile. So on side, I would like to say that please build your LinkedIn profile because it is very important. A lot of people think that students, because I see a lot of students here, I believe, young people typically end up building their profile when they enter professional life. So if I join a job, that's when I create my LinkedIn profile. That's not the right way to look at it. You should start early. You should start investing in creating your digital profile as early as you can. Be it like 11th, 12th, you start from there, and that is when you will, start having that network all around you. So today, whenever I get a request, I know I am digressing from the topic, but it is very, very important. I just want to highlight that the power of network. I have statistics, and at LinkedIn, because it's a data company, we have a lot of data. There is a data point that a person, especially with 0 to 1 year of experience, the students who are there, who are freshers in the job, if you have a company where you want to get hired and you are connected to that company through your network, your chances of getting hired in that company is 5 times more. 5x. And that is data. This is nowhere that, I'm coming from some kind of opinion, but this is proper data. And if you have like a proper profile built in, this means your certification added to your profile, then you have 1.5 times better than other person to get a job in that. So that is like big numbers right over there. Now coming to my story, I had nothing of it. Absolutely nothing. But one thing, and which Anuradha ma'am also said that, I did not let anyone close the door on me. I said that I will go through that door. This is what I'm destined to do. No one can stop me to open that door and grab the opportunity by horn and go ahead and, just get that. So that kind of conviction, a lot of it also comes through, and everyone said it, by the way, if people are hearing, every person sitting here talked about parents, talked about the families, the society which they are in, and how they help you come up, how they become the wind beneath your wing. That is what. So I think a lot today, tomorrow you will be parents, people who are sitting here. Give that opportunity. Be equal. Be equal to everyone who is there. Develop that harmony in people that, they get that confidence to go ahead. And that's what my parents did, though from such a small place. But one thing which they gave me ample was the confidence. And I'm so happy that I'm so thankful that they did that at an early age in my life. And that's the reason I'm here, despite all the oddities which are there. So
Awesome,
thank you.
Awesome. I was reading somewhere, I was watching one of those 2-minute video where Priyanka Chopra, we all know who she is, right? Anyone who doesn't know? Who said confidence is the best accessory you'll wear? And after this conversation, I'm going to remember Priyanka said it and Sabha said it. So we've got 2 celebrities saying that. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sabha. That was awesome. Ashwini, we know the audience. We've been here for about a few hours now. We are warming up. What is one message you'll give to them about having a long-term career vis-a-vis or versus a job, which is point in time, right? But a long-term career. Well, this one is for you.
Yeah, thank you. So my mantra or my message to all the students out there is, see, we have heard about this saying, right? So do the job that you love. But phase 2, what I want to tell you guys is love the job that you do, because it is really not practical. All of us will get into, the kind of job that we want to do. Sometimes there is a compromise. We might end up doing something different. But whatever you are doing, do it with passion. It's very important that there is passion, there is dedication. And as women, do not hear to any negative comments, like, because one of the audience did ask a question, right? So there is a propaganda going on about women. So do not, bog down or get demotivated with those kind of comments. So, stand for yourself, and definitely, so you will succeed.
Awesome. Thank you. Suchitra, what has been your success factor? What would you attribute to one trait that you have and that made you highly successful?
Actually, I graduated in electronics engineering, and never in my wildest dreams I had imagined that I would step on into a manufacturing-oriented career. because all said and done, manufacturing is kind of frowned upon as far as women folk are considered. This is way back those days. Maybe things have changed drastically today, but during our time, certainly it was not a forte of women. But when I got in there, I was pleasantly surprised by the opportunities that were there. So I think it went in phases. Initially, it was all about, having graduated and staying employed, putting it bluntly. But later, in each phase, it changed. There was a lot of learning. There was a lot of responsibility that came on. Then came the team building part, the leadership part. So it was truly overwhelming in that sense. And then the interaction with customers, the appreciation we get, all of that. But for me, I think what stands out in terms of, if you could put it as a challenge, is we were given the task of setting up a new factory all by itself, and I played a very vital role in that. Until date, I think I feel very good looking back on those days when we put in so much of hard work, planning to see that we go through whatever was put as a target to us and come out successful. So for me, that was definitely a very defining moment in my career.
Awesome, awesome. Creating something and being part of a very critical,
and in a so-called male-dominated environment, which is actually, so it goes to prove that there is nothing like a male or female domain. It's all about how we perceive, how we look at things, and work towards doing what we want to achieve. It's the passion part of it, what she explained. So if we have the passion, I think we can go after anything and achieve whatever we want.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Usha, I'm going to open up to audience, but before that, I want to ask you one question. We have this platform, Women at Work. We have organizations doing well. We have huge industry bodies. You've got TIE, NASCOM, ISA, others doing their work. What do you think is one or two things that we must focus on going forward to make sure programs like this, initiatives like this, are far more successful and we reach our outcomes?
So I think I'll probably pick from the last point you said, right? Outcomes are important at the end of the day. So irrespective of whether we've got 3 initiatives running, 4 collaborations going on, ultimately everything is going to be about outcomes. And I think 1, 2, or 3 important things is to make this successful, to get women to a 50% participation in workforce all through in technology. It's not enough if women alone have the desire and passion. I wish that could be sufficient, right? I think the corporates need to come together. Many corporates do come together, but there is a need to develop it further. And almost, get the men as allies, because it's not a woman supporting a woman alone, right? It has to be men supporting the journey. And Her Highness spoke about start with your son, start with your family. That's important. I think the second thing is, even in the academics and curriculum which is there, if there is a pattern and a way by which we are able to concentrate on women and see if there is a differentiated curriculum we need, and when people take a break and come back, technology is a very fast changing world. If we can do, like for example, we focus on getting women back to work, and there is actually upskilling that we do. Because 6 months in the industry, you're out, you're obsolete. So I think it is important for the academic institutions in order to focus on that, not just as graduation, but also, subsequently at different life stages is what I think. And a combination of the corporates and the academic institutions, together with the passion that women have, will take us a long way.
Awesome, awesome. So we got 2 mantras: get your boys brought up differently. Focus on, of course, women for women. I think there's enough drama happening, women against women, and some great telemarketing soaps and all. I mean, there's some great work that's happened on OTT. But I think it's women for women, and the third is men as allies, and a lot of great companies are doing it. Thank you so much for that, Usha. But more important is, you got to own your career. It starts with you. It may not end with you, but it definitely starts with you and stays with you. The torch is not going to, the baton is not going to move forward. You got to continue that. And that cannot be handed over. There's a lovely book by Jack Welch, kind of old book, but I still love it. Control your destiny, broadly your life. Control your life, or someone else will. So you got to have the power of your live. I'll throw open to the Bharat, we'll open to the Nikhil, we'll open to the audience. Oh, wow, great. Awesome. We've got 2 men and 1 woman asking question. I'm going to do different than Sanjeev. I'm going to flip it to men first, but only one. Inky Pinky Ponky should I do? Where should I go? Nikhil, you choose. Let a man choose a man.
Yeah, man choose.
I'm going to choose a woman.
Or we can do the opposite. That'll be more better.
No, women are all mine.
Yes, fantastic. Quick thing, I have a small thing to add up there. First, we would like to hear it from the students, if it's all right by everyone. We want to take the students' question first, then we'll get to the men and other ladies.
We've got time, 10 minutes, so, good thing. Let's go. Go to the... Yeah?
Students there, yes.
Yes. We've got 3, 4, 5 questions. We should be able to do it most.
And I have a reserved question that I need to ask on all the panelists. So one question from my end.
Hello, ma'am. First of all, it was a huge opportunity this was. Thank you for this opportunity. And we learned a lot, actually. My question is, right now, feminism is kind of a big question right now. A lot of people are moving forward, a lot support, everything is going on. But it is turning into negative in some ways. That's unfortunate. And some people are using it as a show to show that women may not work. Now, I do understand and I do agree with ma'am that we need to ignore them because we need to move forward and prove with our work that we can do this. We are not just showing it like we just want it. We are not just asking for it. We are doing it. But there has to be another way to it also, no ma'am? Like we can't just ignore it. At one point, we need to speak out against it. So how should we do that?
Your name, please?
I'm Bhumika from EC Electronics and Communication. I'm from GSSS Engineering College, Women.
Awesome, awesome. Panelist who wants to take that question? Okay, go ahead, Ashwini.
Yeah, so when I said ignore it, that doesn't mean that ignore it and then keep quiet, right? So if I have to give my own example, so in my previous organization, so maybe because I am a woman, yeah, there were less opportunities. But when I got this opportunity to build iSocrates, I took it up. So many of them told me, why are you leaving this, a comfortable job and then why you want to take risk? Then I said, I want to take this risk. Sometimes it is better to do that. And then building this iSocrates, I did everything a man can do, right? So I was managing all the departments initially, and then it's 5 years now, and we are growing successfully. So all I would say is ignore in the sense, don't get demotivated by those comments. Instead, prove yourself. Show that you can do.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Ashwini. That was
I just wanted to add another point there.
Yeah.
So often as women, we try to compare ourselves with men and try to be thinking in the same way. I would encourage all of us, we are different, okay? We are far more better in getting people together to do work. We are far more better in terms of multi-skilling. And we may not be, that leadership where you're herding everyone ahead. So it is very important when you get all these comments, just keep it in the back door, continue working, show the results, and the organization will follow you. And be yourself. Don't try to emulate the men or anybody else who is different to you. It's not about men or women at the end of the day. You're a persona by yourself. You should look at yourself and see what best to be done to bring up your leadership quality.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Lovely. Next question. Yep.
Check. I want to take it to the student last there. We'll come to the men. We'll come to the men. The student there. Students are priority for me today.
And then we'll move to the front seat quickly.
Yes, please. Yes.
We'll do
she's-
that. We'll do that. Yeah.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nasarga, and I'm currently pursuing computer science engineering in PSC Mandya. So, ma'am, my question is for you. You said take a break, have kids, and then come back, but then don't quit. But clearly, responsibilities don't end at maternity leaves. So, it's just that because it's not just women who gets to play a role in it. It's her family, her in-laws, it's her husband, who has like a big role to play in it. Sometimes she's actually forced to do something she doesn't want to do. So what do you want to tell about it?
No, great question, because sometimes when we talk sitting on a panel, it's very easy to say these things, but I'll give you multiple examples as to how, and I'll keep it short. Family support is critical. I believe childbearing is a woman's responsibility because God has given that competence or ability. But child rearing is a man's job too. It's a parent-teacher meeting. I was at a party, a Diwali party, lots of those, and I was there. And there was this very dear friend, and he was talking about how, my wife stayed at home. She was a great banker. God, if this is recorded and he hears, definitely I am going to be socially castigated. But I'll say it still because it's my conviction. And he was talking with a lot of pride how his, wife stayed at home and all of that. And my blood was boiling because it worked for you. And then he said the child turned out very good. It worked for the child. But has anyone asked whether it worked for her? What did it do to her? And was there any support system considered where she could do both? And then he said, yeah, but PTM, parent-teacher meeting, is a woman's responsibility. I said, do you realize the English word? Parent. It is not a woman-teacher meeting. It is a parent-teacher meeting, which means it's a dad and mother. How is it that men have beautifully made it a woman's job? They forgot the damn word. And I realized when I was talking, wow, I found some eureka because I hadn't thought about it before. And I was like, there it is. So what I'm trying to say is there was pandemic, and I'll give you a personal example because laughing at others is easy, but I'm going to mock it myself and tell you a story. Pandemic was there. My in-laws were staying with me. Our relationships bonded, strengthened, but my household from 3 grew to 13. And a single bread, which will take 3 days to finish, would finish in half an hour. The eggs would be 2, sometimes not used. They became 24. So there was just so much of chaos. And I was working that time, full time, and I asked my husband, look, your family, my family, I understand. But if you think you're going to work and I'm just sitting on the side ordering, it's not going to work. So grocery shopping, everyday needs, you'll have to help. Please pitch in. I clearly listed out the task for him. I wrote it down, this is your responsibility. And I did not go to him in an angry tone to say, I'm tired, I'm looking after the house, because that time nobody listens to you. I sat down like a corporate board meeting, prepared myself, kept the emotion out, gave him notes of what he needs to do, made it easy, and I said, will you please help me? Because I can't do this alone because I love you, but do you love me enough? And kind of, little bit Bollywood added, but it worked. And my husband was given the award by Swiggy of ordering maximum eggs. Well, that magnet is on the fridge. Mood point, you got to ask for support. Sometimes when you ask, you may not get it. I don't want to say that. We'll do a one-on-one conversation of what you need to do then. But first is ask for help. Second, ask for support. Third, ask it in a cool and calm and compassionate mind. Make it simple. Men want to help. Some men definitely want to help. But I think they just don't know. Like sometimes he would wash utensils and the third day I'll say, oh my God, oh baby, it's my job. Why? Because patriarchy is in my mind too. So I also need to cleanse my mind and my biases. I hope that answers it, yeah?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, please. Okay, sir, we'll come to you. The quick one. One before you and then we are coming to you. Nikhil, we are going to the men after this. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's okay, you've asked it before. There's no rule that you can ask only one.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity again. And this question goes to Usha, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you said that for any women to come to workforce and stay in workforce, need a support from both educational institution as well as corporate. So now I've passed the educational institution, I'm into the corporate. So can you give me like 3 most important things what I can bring in at workplace that can keep women at workplace?
So I think the first thing is, I'll say from the corporate and from the women's side also. So from the corporate organization, and many of us belong to an organization where there is focus on diversity, important to bring in a little level of flexibility in the roles. That's extremely important. Now again, I will say flexibility does not mean compromising on outcomes. So when I have women in my team, I'm equally hard in terms of outcomes with them and with myself, but there is flexibility that a corporate needs to understand and then provide for. I think the second thing is there are certain inherent, and there was this debate on soft skills versus hard skills, right? There are certain things where women need a little more enablement compared to men, and it is important for the organizations to realize that and provide for it. And the last thing, which is related to flexibility, is giving opportunities after you take your career breaks to come. You know, these are the three things I would say corporates need to be imbibing, apart from the big thing on allyship by men. That is extremely, I'm very, very passionate about it. That is extremely important and very critical to success. And when it comes to you, when you join a corporate organization, don't be shy. Make your 5-year, 10-year roadmap and go at it. And when you need a role, when you need that particular job, ask for it. At the most, people are going to say no, right? But then you'll get it the next time. If you don't ask and be shy, you'll never get there. So just go for it. The family, everything will come behind as long as you're passionate and you're going for it. So that's your job, to be focused, to have a long-term roadmap. And I've often come across women who say, what do you want to do? They'll say, I'll do anything the organization asks for.
I know,
that's not the right answer. You need to know what do you need now, 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line. That would be what you need to internalize.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
We'll come back to the students. I think they're lovely questions. We've been given more time. We'll take the gentleman in blue, please. Thank you.
Check. So 2 people, one will be the gentleman here and sir, the grey coat there. Ma'am, you'll definitely get a chance. You're a woman. We have to give it.
I am Dr. P. Gopal Singh. It's a pleasure to listen to all the panelists here. But my experience is quite different because we submitted a report to University Grants Commission for a project of 9 lakh rupees. The topic was Women Construction Workers in Karnataka, a case study of Chikmagalur district. It was a study of pure sheer exploitation and gender discrimination among men and women in Chikmagalur district. That's quite different, my experience. But what I would like to say here is that inspiring women at work, I would like to mention here is that inspiration, how it should come. Without she, he cannot be there. S-H-E. And he cannot be there without she. Madam, M-A-D-A-M. Adam cannot be there without madam. Awesome. Mistress, Mr. cannot be there without Mr.
Awesome.
Women also. Men cannot be there without women. That's what the inspiration words I wanted to say. No questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We will remember that. Appreciate it. Thank you. There's
yes,
another
can I
gentleman,
have
and
to
then
the
we'll go to
gentleman?
them. Yeah. And let's quickly ask Nana too, and then we go to the students. Yeah.
So this question is all of you, and the answer would be my female co-founder who's seeing this live. So just before telling the question, I would like to give you a little background why I'm asking this question, because my female co-founder, which is 31-year-old, lost her parent when she was 9-year-old, and she survived totally on her mom's, pension. And then she fought all the odds and everything, studied everything. And now when she wants to do something as an entrepreneurship, she's my co-founder, most of the time, one of the distant relative who got her in some of the boarding school at that time when she lost it, they keep asking that this is a payback time kind of stuff. And now since we talked about priority, about career and all those things, so if whenever she faces this kind of situation, how exactly she need to strike a balance? So if anyone of you would like to, because she's seeing his live, so I really want to, and this is the best panel for her to get an answer.
Awesome. Could you clarify when the relatives say it's a payback, what do they mean by that? Is it to sit down and have a family? Is that what it is?
No. Payback time in the sense means now they need, so you cannot say, okay, I have got a meeting, I have got my startup to take care
So
of.
they
You
are
have to come travel. Expectations.
They're expecting. No, we're glad you're asking a question on our behalf. Anyone wants to answer? Sabha, go ahead, please. We'll have one panelist answer only.
I think she has to be very clear in terms of, what is the ask out there. Like if they really want, when people are asking you for something, sometimes it comes across as an entirely different thing, right? So first and foremost is to understand what they are asking for. If it is something which cannot be done, it cannot be done, right? You don't have to, she doesn't have to mend her ways and make that extra effort to give everything back to them, right? She is already doing quite a lot of work in her life, right? So there is nothing like she has to go ahead and still give back to them. So I believe it's a good idea to go back and understand from her side that whatever people are asking for, that what is the real intent behind it. There is a lot of discussion around intent versus impact. Yeah. So the intention, so you need to understand that what exactly is going behind it, and then she has all the right to say no to it. And unless she doesn't voice out, I believe everyone in different ways said the same thing, that we have to speak up. We just cannot be like quiet and shy and say that, okay, it's gonna, if you are saying something, I'm okay with it. You, at certain point, not certain point, all the time, you have to speak, and you have to speak clearly, not in a very emotional way, because, you know, it needs to come out clear objectively. So I believe it's both the ways, right? You need to understand and then answer back.
Thank you so much, Sabha. I think that's relevant. I think it's just being polite and saying no. Nikhil, over to you.
Check. Okay. We'll have to probably say thank you to all the panelists because we are really running short of time. You can definitely interact with them over a course of action. Okay. I would not love to disappoint a lady after hearing such wonderful words from all the ladies. Ma'am, quickly finish your question. I want only one panelist to answer it, and let's give it the satisfaction.
Naina, go ahead.
Please.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you so much. And I know there are many people here waiting to ask a question, but I was very keen to share because I feel like there's a lot of connection for me in this room here. And I'll give you 2 examples. One is today I stand here representing Lululemon, and Lululemon had come to GSSSIE a couple of months back, and we hired 13 freshers from their college. And those girls are so talented, so driven, that I'm very excited to see how the Beyond Bangalore program works, because I've seen the talent myself and it's brilliant. The second connection is, of course, Sabha. I don't know if you remember me, Sabha. I was part of the Diversity, Inclusion, Belonging team at LinkedIn. We worked together a little bit, but that was during the pandemic. This is the first time I'm seeing you in person, and I'm looking forward to having coffee with you later. My question is around imposter syndrome, right? Women are more likely to face imposter syndrome than men, and this also starts before they enter the workforce. So how have you dealt with it? I recently read that Beyonce has an alter ego who she calls Sasha, and she always channelizes Sasha before her performance, but that's very different from her personality. Do you have Sashas for yourself? And what would your advice be on how to handle imposter syndrome?
Anyone wants to take it? One panelist, please. Yeah, go ahead.
So, the way I have dealt with imposter syndrome is like fake it till you make it. And you know, try to appear confident. You know, you might not know everything, and do you even know that the other person knows everything? But that person looks very confident, right? So sometimes, you know, confidence can even make up for your competence in several situations. So I mean, that's how these are some of the tricks I have used that has worked.
Thank you so much. Naina, that's the only way to do it. I've done it many times. I came from a functional domain heading country manager, Western digital technology company. And there were many people who want that job. There's only one country head. And every day I would pick up and say, oh my God, this is Abhimanyu, the she Abhimanyu stuck. And every day I would go back saying, it's okay, I can do it. It's a lot of self-talk. And I do have an alter ego. I call her Sass. Oh shit, the first time I've spoken about it. Thank you so much. I think it was wonderful. Oh my God, this is great conversation. Panelists, thank you. You each bring a new perspective, and I've learned so much. And audience, while I was getting worried with the less number of claps, but you know what? Measures need to change. You were not there because you were completely in tune, sync, and you were listening. So thank you so much. You had great questions. I wish we could take more, but you're wonderful and wish you all the best. Great careers. Many unicorns and CEOs coming. Thank you.
Awesome. Fantastic. Before we say thank you to panelists, I had 2 students who asked a question. Ma'am, you repeated it. You'll get an extra gulab jamun, but not the goodie this time around. So the 2 students out there, can you please stand up who asked the questions? Thank you so much. They're going to get a lovely, lovely gift hamper, a small gift card, but with a big heart from Decathlon, and a badge of I Make a Difference. So summing this wonderful session up, I think I noted a few points. So let's get it going. I'll conclude it with one say. There is no force more powerful than a woman who is determined to rise. So they've all risen up. It's time to say thank you to all of them. So may I request on stage, Ms. Nisar Raidurg, the partner at IBM Mysore leader, to please come on stage. Mr. Vivek Saxena, senior advisor, KDM, and also Mr. Sudanva, the founder and CEO of ExcelSoft, to please present mementos to these wonderful women. On the Jorada Chappale Barli, please. And a special acknowledgement to the gentleman in the blue shirt. Thank you for your words, sir, ma'am. Wonderful question. And sir in the gray suit. Thank you so much. So let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for our lovely, lovely panelists. Ms. Sabah Kareem, Ms. Madhu, Usha Shrikant, Suchitra Royrath, Ashwini Thamaya, and moderated by the wonderfully, the great speaker, Supriya Dhanda. Come on, everybody, let's hear it for the women on stage. While the mementos are being given away, we request everybody to please stay back as well, because we have the culturals coming up in few minutes from now. So stay tuned for all of this. May I request all the dignitaries on the stage to come forward for a group picture, please. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ಒಂದ್ಸಲಿ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಣ್ಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೃದಯಪೂರ್ವಕ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಗನ್ನ ತರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. तो कभी कभी लगता है कोई सेशन की अलविदा ना हो, पर अभी हमारे इस कार्यक्रम को आगे ले जाने के लिए इनको यहीं पर शुभकामनाएं देना पड़ेगा. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे साथ बहुत बने रहने के लिए. Thank you. So moving on, let me tell you this. We had a beautiful download of wonderful information into our brains. It's just not keeping your brain and thought process active, but your physical body active as well. In order to do that, we have a walkathon happening tomorrow at the north gate of Mysuru Palace. We request everybody who's present here, go grab your mom, dad, husband, boyfriend, your neighbors, and we want to see everybody down there in the walkathon tomorrow. We have some lovely gift hampers to be given away as well tomorrow. So it's going to be a lovely walkathon happening tomorrow, and the health sponsors for walkathon is Kaveri Hospitals. So please do join in and stay tuned. May I request all the panelists as well to please stay back for the next cultural, because it's a lovely session that's going to come up, a journey that's dedicated to women. It's going to be a dance session coming up. So we request everybody to please stay back for the same. So we request everybody to please stay glued. Vote of thanks ಮುಗಿಯೋ ತನಕ ಹೋಗಬಾರ್ದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಸೂರಿನವರು ತುಂಬಾ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರವಂತರು. So we always sit till the program gets over. Especially ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಇನ್ನ ಮರ್ಯಾದಸ್ಥರು, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ತನಕ ಇದ್ದು ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ತಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೋರ್ತಿದೀವಿ. So please stay back till the vote of thanks, please. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದ ಒಂದು ನೃತ್ಯ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನ ಇದೆ. That's really aimed to empower and showcase women and workforce. So ladies and gentlemen, moving forward with the culturals right now. We welcome you all to the cultural evening by Natyam Institute of Dance. Natyam was founded with a vision to serve people and educate them. I beg your pardon. So Natyanam Institute of Dance, ladies and gentlemen. Natyanam was founded with a vision to serve people and educate them in all art forms. Natyanam Foundation for Arts has been acclaimed for its efforts and has been appreciated highly by many people, organizations, and also been invited to perform at many events. Guru Dr. Raksha Karthik is a consultant dental surgeon and a Bharatanatyam guru and an artist and a choreographer from Bangalore, India. She is accredited by the International Dance Council, CID, and is recognized by UNESCO. She's also a member of the American Dance Therapy Association. Presenting you, Dr. Raksha Karthik. Chappale barbeku please for this wonderful guru who is going to present us with a dance session right now.
A very good evening to all of you present here. That was a wonderful session what we had now. So I'm Dr. Raksha Karthik, and I run a dance institute called Natyanam Institute of Dance. I'm a dental surgeon by profession and an artist by passion. So we just heard how passionate one must be to pursue what you really love. So I'll just take you with a quick journey of Natanam Institute of Dance. So through this ancient tradition of Bharatanatyam, I'm sure most of you know many art forms of India. We have every state representing different cultures, from Kathak to Kathakali to Mohiniyattam from Kerala, then Bharatanatyam from Tamil Nadu, and we have Yakshagana from our own state, Karnataka. So every art form is very unique. And children who learn these art form get to learn several languages, our culture, our tradition, the Vedas, the Shastras, literature, and many different languages. So through dance, children get to learn a lot of these things. I also teach dance to physically challenged children who are visually impaired and speech and hearing impaired. They learn dance through the method of touch and feel technique. So if this is my stage, it's very easy for me to, visualize the stage, to stand in the center of the stage, move around and, cover the entire stage doing my movements. But when it comes to children with, who are differentially abled, they need some orientation. So they kind of move over, calculate, and then perform. So that's one of the techniques where I use to teach children who are visually challenged and speech and hearing impaired. That's one of my students who was burnt and who lost both his eyes when he was 4-year-old. So he's danced with me all over the world. So these are a few of the awards which I have got and my institute has got. So that's with I studied dental surgery in Rashtriya Vidyalaya Dental College, and I also got a gold medal. So, and I'm a rank holder in biochemistry and dental histology and pathology. That's just one of the photos. So when I started dancing, nowadays children get to, video the dance steps and they go back home and practice. But we never got to do that. We would always sit and learn the shlokas, memorize the movements and go back home. So I remember doing all that in the train journey when I first came to Mysore 25 years back with my guru and, performed here in one of the famous schools. So this is along with my visually challenged children where we performed at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So these are a few of the selected dance performances by myself and my students. And few of the awards. And these are a few performances at the prestigious stages in India, the Chidambaram Brihadishwara temple, and few of the photographs. Yeah, you can move to the next slide. So we started off with performing at Cubbon Park. If you are in Bangalore, there are bandstands. There were bandstand programs in Cubbon Park. From Cubbon Park to the Best Worlds Theatre in Athens, we've performed everywhere. It's just that, you have to be passionate about what you're doing. There was one of the slide there where we had the pathology conference in Atlantic City in a cruise. So I presented a paper there in the US and also danced there with my professors. Yeah, these are few, articles. Yeah, as the panelists were saying that, you're a mom, then you need the support of your family, then you also have to take care of your child. So we don a lot of avatars. So I think if you are passionate and you seek support and you really know what you want to do, then you will just go ahead and do it. These are a few articles. That's Karthik, my husband. He's a part of KDEM and the organizing committee here. And yeah, he's been a great support for me with my journey in dentistry and dancing. Thank you, Karthik. And he's also doing the sound and the lighting today for me here. And our daughter has also started dancing. Yeah, few of her pictures here. Yeah, so I started dancing at the age of 7, and then I started teaching at the age of 15. Yeah, I lost my dad at a very young age, and then my mom was also sick. So I kind of started supporting my family also through dance. Then studies happened, and then, yeah, marriage, childbirth. Dance has always, been my go-to support for everything, be it to trying to calm myself or trying to foresee what I really want to do. So this year is going to be the 10th anniversary of my dance school. I have more than 50 plus students, and I teach at a school for visually challenged institution. But post-pandemic, it's been quite less because most of the children have some complications post-COVID. And now we also did a lot of Zoom classes for children, and also children who were admitted at NIMHANS for psychological problems. And we've done a lot of choreographies on different mythological stories and many international and national performances. Yeah, we are going to launch our website today here at, the Beyond Bengaluru Women at Work. Thank you.
Inspired, are you? We just spoke about so many adversities. I took a picture of that slide which said, at this age, that happened. Here is a person who's actually, for me, there's a lot to carry forward, but for me, in very quick 1 minute there is education, brilliant. That's stellar. That did not take a backseat. And then there's passion. Well, that did not take a backseat either. So here is an individual, a great woman, who's excelling in both. So let's have a round of applause for her. And equally inspiring and proud husband. Where did he disappear? There. I mean, let's have a round of applause because, he's so excited about what she's accomplishing. I'm like, thank you. You almost have tears in your eyes, and I think so do I. So you know what? We need more.
ni sari sari pama ri sa ni ni sari sa ni sa ni pa pa ni sa ni sari sari pama ri sa ni ni sari sa ni sa ni pa pa ni sa ri ma pa ni pa ma pa sa ni pa ma ri sa ni pa ma ri sa bhagya Lakshmi Baramma Nammani Saubhagya 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 Lakshmi Baramma ಗೆಜ್ಜೆಯ ಕಾಲಿನ ಧ್ವನಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಯ ನೀಡುತ್ತ ಗೆಜ್ಜೆಯ ಕಾಲಿನ ಧ್ವನಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಯ ನೀಡುತ್ತ ಸಾಧು ಸಜ್ಜನರ ಪೂಜೆಯ ವೇಳೆಗೆ ಮಜ್ಜಿಗೆಯೊಳಗಿನ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆಯಂತೆ ಸಾಧು ಸಜ್ಜನರ ಪೂಜೆಯ ವೇಳೆಗೆ ಮಜ್ಜಿಗೆಯೊಳಗಿನ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆಯಂತೆ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ಗರಿಸ ನಿಸರಿ ಗಮ ಪದ ನಿದಪ ನಿದಪ ಮಗರಿ ಗಮ ಪದ ನಿಸರಿ ಗರಿಸ ನಿಸರಿ ಗಮ ಪದ ನಿದಪ ನಿದಪ ಮಗರಿ ಗಮ ಪದ ನಿಸನಿ ಸರಿ ಗರಿ ಸನಿ ಸರಿ ಸನಿ ದಪ ಮ ಪದ ನಿ ಗರಿ ಸನಿ ಸ ನಿದಪ ಮಪ ಮಗರಿ ಸ ಕನಕ ಮುಷ್ಟಿಯ ಕರೆಯುತ್ತ ಬಾರೆ ಮನಕ್ಕೆ ಮನವ ಸಿದ್ಧಿಯ ತೋರೆ ಕನಕ ಮುಷ್ಟಿಯ ಕರೆಯುತ್ತ ಬಾರೆ ಮನಕ್ಕೆ ಮನವ ಸಿದ್ಧಿಯ ತೋರೆ ದಿನಕರ ಕೋಟಿ ತೇಜದಿ ಹೊಳೆಯುವ ಜನಕರಾಯನ ಕುಮಾರಿ ಬಾರೆ ದಿನಕರ ಕೋಟಿ ತೇಜದಿ ಹೊಳೆಯುವ ಜನಕರಾಯನ ಕುಮಾರಿ ಬಾರೆ ಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ಸಸಗ ಮಗ ಸಗ ಗಮ 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 ಮದ ನಿದ ಬದ ದಿಸ ದಿಸ ಸಸಗ ಮಗ ಸಗ ಗಮ 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 ಮದ ನಿದ ಬದ ದಿಸ ದಿಸ ಸಸದಿ ನಿದ ದಮ ಮಗ ಗಮ ಮದ ದಿ ಮಗ ಸದಿದ ಗಸ ನಿದ ಬನಿ ಗಮ ಗಸ ಶಂಕೆಯಿಲ್ಲದ ಭಾಗ್ಯವ ಕೋಟು ಕಂಕಣ ಕೈಯ ತಿರುಗುತ್ತ ಬಾರಿ ಶಂಕೆಯಿಲ್ಲದ ಭಾಗ್ಯವ ಕೋಟು ಕಂಕಣ ಕೈಯ ತಿರುಗುತ್ತ ಬಾರಿ ಕುಂಕುಮಾಂಕಿತೆ ಪಂಕಜಲೋಚನೆ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣನ ಪಟದ ರಾಣಿ ಕುಂಕುಮಾಂಕಿತೆ ಪಂಕಜಲೋಚನೆ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣನ ಪಟದ ರಾಣಿ ಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಿಸ ಪಸ ನಿಸ ನಿಸ ಗಮಗ ಗಮ ಪಸ ನಿಪ ಮಾ ನೀಪ ಮಗ ನಿಸ ಪಸ ನಿಸ ನಿಸ ಗಮಗ ಗಮ ಪಸ ನಿಪ ಮಾ ನೀಪ ಮಗ ಗಮ ಪರಿ ಗಮ ಪರಿ ಮಗ ಸ ನಿಪ ಗ ಸ ನಿಪ ಮಾ ಸ ಗಮ ಪರಿ ಸಕರೆ ತುಪ್ಪ ಕಾಲುವೆ ಹರಿಸಿ ಶುಕ್ರವಾರದ ಪೂಜೆಯ ವೇಳೆಗೆ ಸಕರೆ ತುಪ್ಪ ಕಾಲುವೆ ಹರಿಸಿ ಶುಕ್ರವಾರದ ಪೂಜೆಯ ವೇಳೆಗೆ ಅಕರೆಯಿಲ್ದಲಿ ಅಳಗಿರಿ ರಂಗನ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ಮೋಹನ ರಾಣಿ ಅಕರೆಯಿಲ್ದಲಿ ಅಳಗಿರಿ ರಂಗನ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ಮೋಹನ ರಾಣಿ ಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ
Hi, my name is Govardhani. I'm working as a lead consultant in Infosys.
Hello, I'm Smriti. I'm currently in 11th grade and I'm aspiring to be a lawyer in the future, hopefully.
Good evening. My name is Sinchana and I'm studying in 9th grade. I would love to be a dancer and thank you for the opportunity, Guru Dr. Raksha Karthik, and to the BTech organizer. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Sanvi and I'm a 7th grader and I study in NPS. I aspire to work in the field of art in the future. Thank you for giving this big opportunity to us.
Hi everyone, my name is Hasini Chandrasekhar. I'm a program manager in Bosch, Bangalore.
I've been working from 15 years now in innovation management, technical sales, and program management. Art has been something which is my passion, and I started learning it under my guru, Dr. Raksha Karthik, 4 years ago. My daughter also learns under her, so we are grateful for this opportunity. And I think somehow art has always helped me both in my personal as well as professional leadership journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Samhita Sridhar. I'm currently studying in 8th grade at St. Paul's English School. I aspire to be a pilot one day, hopefully. I would like to thank Raksha ma'am for this opportunity and Big Tech for this opportunity. And I love to dance and I'm learning music also, so I don't have words to say to Raksha ma'am.
Thank you. So after a presentation on Goddess Lakshmi, I would now present on Goddess Durga. It's a composition which is composed by my music guru. It's a musical composition which is composed by my music guru, but the lyrical text is taken from Sri Brahmananda Guruji's Stotra on Lalita Devi. And I have also chosen verses from the Lalita Sahasranama to show goddess as Trishakti. I have chosen 3 small stories about Devi Mahima. The first story is about how she takes her Trishula and writes Omkara on the tongue of Kalidasa. And that's how he has written many compositions. I'm sure all of you have heard of Kalidasa, Kaviratna Kalidasa. The second small story is about how Devi is made to sit in the Sri Chakra by Adi Shankaracharya. And the third story is about Mahisha Mardini, where Devi takes the Rupa of Kali. Shri Lalite, Amba Shri Lalite.
ध्यायेत् पद्मासनस्थां विकसितवदनां पद्मपत्रायताक्षी हेमाभां करकलितलसद्धीमपद्मां सर्वालङ्कारयुक्ता सततम् अभयदा भक्तनम्रां भवानी श्रीविद्यां शान्तमूर्तिं सकलसुरनुता सर्वसम्पत्प्रदात्री अम्बा ललिता श्रीललिते अम्बा श्रीललिते श्रीललिते अम्बा श्रीललिते हे श्रीललिते अम्बा श्रीललिते शिवसहिते अम्बा सुखभरिते शिवसहिते अम्बा सुखभरिते श्रीललिते अम्बा श्रीललिते शिवसहिते अम्बा सुखभरिते श्रीललिते अम्बा श्रीललिते चिन्मय रूपिणी चिन्मय रूपिणी चिन्मय रूपिणी श्रीचक्रवासिनी चिन्मय रूपिणी श्रीचक्रवासिनी 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 शान्तस्वरूपिणि श्रितजनपालिनि शान्तस्वरूपिणि श्रितजनपालिनि श्रितजनपालिनि श्रितजनपालिनी शान्तस्वरूपिणि श्रितजनपालिनि शान्तस्वरूपिणि श्रितजनपालिनि श्रीललिते अम्बा श्रीललिते शिवसहिते अम्बा सुखभरिते श्रीललिते अम्बा श्रीललिते ललिते ललिते
ಚೆಕ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬಾರಿಗೆ ಅವರ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ತಂಪಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ತಟ್ಬಿಡಿ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. Fantastically portrayed, ladies and gentlemen. A lovely performance by Raksha, Karthik and team. May I request the whole team members to please be on stage. We request Raksha, Karthik and team to please come on stage. So, a small memento from our end. May I kindly request Sabha Karim, the India Head of Academics and Government Vertical at LinkedIn, and Supriya Dhanna ma'am to please come forward and present mementos to these lovely ladies on the dais, please. And fantastic, mind-blowing performance. But let me just add in a quick insight while these people make on stage. Illi sound lighting console alli ಕೂತಿರೋದು ಯಾರು ಸರ್? ಲೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ಸೋಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿದ್ದು ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಬರಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫ್ಯಾಂಟಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಎಫರ್ಟ್, because it was a really visual treat and it takes great strength to operate in that way, and that creative imagination goes to Mr. Karthik for directing them. So can we please have Mr. Karthik also on stage, please? Fantastic, sir. I hope every husband is as supportive as you are. Amazing. All right, quickly, may I request Supriya Danda ma'am and Sabakari ma'am to do the honors, please. We kindly want you to give away the certificates. Hasini Chandrasekhar. And the memento, please. Govardhini Ethirajan. Samhita Sridhar. Sinchana and Iyengar. Smriti Sridhar. Sanvi Lalwani. And the artistic director of Nattanam Institute of Dance, Dr. Raksha Karthik. And may I request Karthik sir to please tag along and join his wife. Come on everybody, let's hear it for this fantastic presentation. Alright, ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. We request all the people on stage to please come forward for a group photo. And while the photo sessions goes on, remember ladies and gentlemen, we have day 2 of the Big Tech Show.
Sumeru, my mom and my daughter are here watching us. Thank you so much.
Awesome, sorry an interruption. Proud parents, ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡಿ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್, ಅವರ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಸಾಯಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Mom, you got to look at the camera, not me. Yes, reiterating, we have the day 2 and it's going to start off with a wonderful walkathon, which is going to start right at 6 a.m. in the north gate of Mysuru Palace. So we request everybody please be there. So, on the final thing for the day, before we give you a high tea, is the vote of thanks. To do so, may I call upon stage Nikhil Nandish, the associate at KDM. Can we have Mr. Nikhil Nandish on stage, please? Check podium mic.
Very good evening to one and all present. On behalf of Karnataka Digital Economy Mission, I take this privilege in delivering the vote of thanks for this amazing session of Women at Work. Through the Talent Accelerator program of KDM, the Women at Work initiative aims at bringing women-focused programs at one platform which can be leveraged by women joining the workforce or returning for a career in technology. The initiative has helped us in drawing a roadmap on how we would synergize in placing women for the growth of the society, state, and the country to create a gender-balanced leadership through the continuous effort of upskilling and reskilling in the world of growing digital economy. On behalf of KDM, we would like to extend our gratitude to Her Highness Srimati Trishika Kumari Vadiyar, Maharani of Mysuru, Honorable Minister for IT, BT and Science and Technology, Dr. Ashwath Narayan, Additional Chief Secretary and Co-Chairman of KDM, Dr. E.V. Ramana Reddy, Shri B.V. Naidu, Chairman of KDM, our moderators for today's panel discussion, Shri Sanjeev Gupta and Ms. Supriya Danda, the speakers for the session, Ms. Anuradha, Ms. Saba Karim, Ms. Madhu, Ms. Usha, Ms. Suchitra, Ms. Ashwini, and all the dignitaries for taking time from their busy schedule to attend this session and make it a grand success. I would also like to thank the Talent Accelerator Women at Work team at KDM. the KDM team in specific, Dr. Raksha Karthik and team for their amazing dance performance, Radisson Blue, technical team, and all supporting staff who have contributed to the success of this event. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the students and the audience for being part of the entire session, and I'm sure we had a lot of insights to take with us from this wonderful session. Thank you.
Check. So thank you so much. With that, we conclude the day one of the Karnataka Digital Economy Mission, the Big Tech Show. See you all tomorrow. Stay tuned for day two, which is starting off with walkathon, with more panel discussions coming up tomorrow. ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಮಿಸಿದ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. Thank you so much. Exclusive to the lovely ladies and students. Have a great day ahead, week ahead, and a year ahead. Stay blessed and blessed. Signing off. This is DJ MC Nikhil Bharadwaj. Thank you.